everybody. Glad you're with us here today. I'm sorry we have to get together in these types of situations, but we're going to start doing this on a fairly regular basis too. I will tell you, we've got a lot of things going on here on the planet that we can make a difference with. So we're going to use the global lights every month from this point forward to work on whatever it is. And if we don't have any major events going on planet Earth, which kind of hard to imagine right now, but if that's the case, we'll use it to basically energize you, the light masters, the light workers of planet Earth that were really doing the work. So I'm going to go right into channel here, and we'll bring the group in right away because I do have to take my glasses off. They don't like me wearing my glasses when I'm doing the channel. So anyway, welcome. All right. So we really wanted to kind of bring you this and share with you the group's view of what is going on planet Earth and what our role can be in this. So let me explain one thing that they've described to me, and I'll simply step aside at that point. One of the things they want to do today is to create a wave. This wave is starting obviously with a live broadcast at a specific time, but it will be added to as people watch this later on. When you hold this energy in your heart and you follow this little meditation that we're going to be presenting here in channel, it's pretty powerful, and it adds to the wave no matter where you are, no matter when you're watching this. This can actually add to this wave of peace, and that is really the idea of what we're doing here today. We want to set a wave of peace on Earth into motion that can constantly circle the Earth and be added to and used as needed so that we can be felt. And I will let the group explain exactly what that's about and how that started. But anyway, I'm going to go into channel here at this moment. So, Aspav, everybody, thank you for being with me today. Greetings from home, dear ones. We join you with such joy, for you are moving quite a lot of energy. You may not know it. We know some of you feel quite exhausted as a result of your efforts going on during these times. You see the things that are taking place on planet Earth and want to have some sort of effect on them, but often do not. We wish to hold hands this day and create a large wave that can be added to at any time, can be focused on at any time, and actually helps tremendously to set a base energy on planet Earth. It's very magical to do this, and we bring some of the highest vibrational people together to do exactly this work. So welcome, dear ones. We're glad you have joined us in this effort. First, before we take you on this little journey of light, let us also explain to you what we see that is taking place on planet Earth. Because, dear ones, in the midst of everything that's going on, there is good news. Absolutely good news. You see, what happens all the time is someone attacks someone else, and then there's all this payback, all the things that you have to do to get back and so forth. And it truly is somewhat of a balancing thing from our perspective. You're always trying to balance, oh, you did this, so we're going to have reciprocal damage, whatever that means. Absolutely insane the way that this thought process takes place on Earth. And yet, it continues because it's the collective that does that. In other words, back when 9/11 happened here in the United States, the energies were so strong that almost any leader would have felt some need to have some sort of payback, some sort of focus where they could focus on the bad guys, so to speak. It's really too bad you picked somebody who was not involved, but you know, looking for weapons of mass destruction. Absolutely amazing what took place there, but nonetheless, and the leaders knew about that, by the way, but they were using it to do something else, to create something else that they had been wanting to create for many years. Now, you have something very similar going on here in different places. Not the Ukraine. We're talking about Israel and Palestine, basically. Now, you've got the Palestinians, of course. They're just the ones caught in the middle of this whole mess. And you've got the Israelis who are just trying to defend themselves from having all these rockets lobbed over to them at any time of day or night and not having any sense of security. And then you have the actors, which is Hezbollah, and you have the new actors now getting involved too, Iranian-backed actors as well. So you're going to see some movement here, and this was obviously created on a much larger scale. Depending on who you are and which leader in the world you are, there were plans that were going to unfold for all of this, and they're still trying to do that, which is why they are going to be working from the north now and started to work with a different energy. And the challenge now is that after all these ceasefires and exchange of prisoners and so forth, all of the people, as instructed by the Israelis, have moved to the south. So has Hezbollah, and so are the armies now going after them. So there is liable to be some real challenges with the needless loss of life here. Now, we say that. We know that that is very difficult for the people involved because you're basically getting bombed one way or the other. It's a survival instinct. And yet, there are things you can do. So what we're going to do this day is to, number one, talk about the good news, because there were some excellent things that took place here. As we mentioned, Israel was gearing up to basically go in and take Hezbollah at any cost, and started doing so. But you're living in a different time now. You're not living in the times of Hitler where all these things could be done behind scenes. You're living at a time where everyone carries a camera with them and has no problem putting it on the internet. So you got to see the incredible destruction and the needless loss of life having to do from the Palestinians. So you've got all this energy going on. You've got these people over here who are defending themselves, these people over here who are caught in the middle, and the people over here who are trying to create some sort of disruption, intentional disruption. So with all those things, what happened? That's the good news. People took to the streets all over the globe. From our side of the veil, dear ones, we saw this as an incredible success. Not only a success, but you changed the outcome. Now, one day you have all these people over here taking to the streets, holding signs for Palestinians. Over here you have people holding signs for the Israelis. They are not against each other. That is the interesting part. And it didn't make any difference who was speaking out about what. You were speaking out, and it made a difference. Absolutely, it made a difference. That is what led to this exchange, to this ceasefire and this exchange of prisoners that took place. It is not a full answer to the situation that's going on. There's much more work to be done. But this was a huge success because none of these leaders can exist when the people of the globe are against them. Please keep that in mind. You're much more in charge as a collective on earth. Not even one country over another, but the collective of earth is much more powerful than any one of these leaders. Please keep that in mind. So this day, we wish to start a collective simply of peace. Not trying to point fingers, not trying to find out where the resolution is, but if these seeds of peace can be planted, number one, when people go against that and create war or create needless war, not necessarily defending themselves, but things of that nature, you react. All the collective reacts, and they react by holding a sign, by making their voice heard, by sometimes taking to the street, by sometimes writing letters or even donating to a cause. Those can be huge, and you've already demonstrated on earth that this can change. Now, we wish to take you to a slightly different level of this and share with you a wave of peace. It's not easy, especially not easy when people have been sending rockets or sending destructive bombs and so forth from one to the other. Both have been responsible in the case of Israel and the West Bank. Well, the West Bank is now starting to get involved too, which is kind of interesting. Coming from the north, there will be some interesting things taking place. And we ask you, please don't close your eyes to it, dear ones. These are changes that you can hold in your heart. Now, you don't need to study it, and you don't need to weigh upon it, and you don't need to let it get you down. But simply being aware makes you in charge of your choice. Otherwise, the choice is chosen for you. So we're going to choose peace. We're going to choose a blanket of peace that we're going to lay down on this planet right now. And anytime anyone comes in here and sees this video, you can add to this at any moment. The wave is going to be traveling at the speed of love, which is slightly faster than the speed of light. So if you can imagine that it travels around the Earth 7 times every second, you can jump in at almost any time and add your energy. This can be something that can create a base energy. It's not going to stop the wars that are going on. In fact, they are geared up at this moment to increase drastically, not just the one we are talking about, but also the one in Ukraine and other ones that are on the planet as well that you may or may not know about. There's a point where they are to start to increase. You can counteract that just today, plain and simple, by holding hands, by sending your energy out together. Now, it's very difficult because in this particular broadcast, in who we are talking to, we're going to be talking to Israelis, we're going to be talking to Palestinians, we may be even talking to Iranians or Iraq or any part of the world. So understand that no matter what your perception is, if you believe you're on one side or the other, you've been somewhat separated, have you not? And that tends to lose power. So we're going to take a step back and have you look at Earth the way we do. We're not involved with one or the other. We see it all, and we understand how you've been many times misled, and part of the challenges that you have, sometimes simply around belief systems that you're carrying out. And we tell you, dear ones, there are things that you can do to bring this to awareness of the planet. But first, you simply have to make it more difficult for war to happen. And you do that by laying down a blanket of peace. So let's do that right now. Take a breath. Clear your energy field for just a moment. All the thoughts that you had as you came in here are just going on hold right now. Take a very deep breath, and as you let it out, let your eyes close for just a moment. Feel your heart welling up as you start to connect to all the other people involved in this project right now. Excellent. Now take it even deeper and feel the energy starting to move out, away from you. And as you do, you're in connection with all the others, and that wave is building upon itself, strengthening and growing in a similar way that a tsunami grows as it starts to approach shore. Let it build and set it into motion. The wave of peace is without judgment, dear ones. No one's right. No one's wrong. You're simply releasing the energy and starting to set the base energy of peace and love. Take a deep breath and feel it as it starts circling the earth. Quicker and quicker. Touching everyone. Beautiful. Know that your heart is involved in this wave of peace, and it will make a difference. You've already made a difference. Simply step back Instead of seeing yourself as this or that, or on this side or that side, step back into your spirit for just a moment and see the game that you've all been playing. Yes, you probably have been put on one side or the other of the game. But it is a game, dear ones. You are spirits and connected, each and every one of you. There are none of you that are better than the others. You're all beautiful spirits. And you're all perfect when you come home and reunite all the dimensions that you hold. Well, create an opportunity right now to not only have peace start to show. In the beginning, this will simply look like war becomes more difficult. There will be roadblocks for those who wish to move forward with it. Not only from the people, but from odd things that will now start to happen. The earth herself picks up the energy of this aggression, picks up the energies everywhere around. But this is the wave of peace that she will now also build upon. Take a deep breath and send it out from your heart chakra right now. Feel it as it connects with everyone else. And again, builds another wave right on top of the first one. Suddenly people have a quick smile, no matter what they're doing, even if they're fighting a war, even if they're running for their own survival. For just a moment, they will feel this wave as it passes through, and they'll know that they're actually all a part of each other. Take a breath, dear ones. Difficult to live in harmony, dear ones, when you have belief systems that lead your way. Choose them carefully and know that you have opportunities to unite every being on planet Earth with these simple waves of peace. Go deep inside now and find the basis of your love and the connections that you have to everything. Take a deep breath, and as you blow it out, feel that energy moving through all these different parts. Well done, dear ones, well done. And with that, we ask you to slowly begin to blink your eyes open and come back into the room. You will feel this wave as it continues to go around. It's moving at 7 times per second around the earth. What a beautiful connection. The 7 hertz is also an interesting point. 7.1 to be exact. So take a breath, everyone, and anchor. And as you walk on this earth, know that you are masters, each and every one of you, carrying a very important energy. Many of you came back here to be here at exactly this moment. Some of you from the 300 years in the future that we have spoken about. You made it. We're overjoyed that you are here and awakening from the dream. Know that it's all based in love. And what you are seeing is simply the shadows trying to hide the light from home. Do not be fooled by the shadows, dear ones. The light always overcomes the darkness. It's a simple matter of physics. Know that the light is your love, and you can beam it in waves. Well done. With that, we leave you. You are on a wonderful path. Enjoy the journey. Know that you came here for a reason. We are very honored that you have shared this time with us. With the greatest of honor, we ask you to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another every chance you get and play well together. We are the group of 9. Aspavo, dear ones. Aspavo.